Finally, we hear from the MBA class themselves. From the class member that they have selected to represent them. You get an introduction, Tony. Mr. Tony Lim. Tony is from Singapore. Interestingly, like Diego, Tony is another telecom executive who works on the boundary between public and private sectors. After studying technology in the US, he worked for the Singaporean government in technology and mobile networks, and that's where he will be returning to. In the yearbook, he's referred to as Tony Pong, perhaps the best ping pong player in the class. It's also said that he leads by example, he brings harmony, and he inspires confidence. I know that my first memory of Tony was that big smile, and the smile that creates joy in everybody wherever he goes. So Tony, please, actually you're here, aren't you? Please, I'm looking out there for you. Please, you okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Martha, for that very kind introduction. I'm not sure Sam would agree with the Tony Pong part, but it's okay. Distinguished guests, IMD faculty and staff, my fellow MBA graduates, and our beloved family and friends. Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to represent the MBA class of 2012 to share some thoughts and reflections of this amazing year that has just gone by. When I heard about the honor, I thought long and hard about what I should say this morning. Words can only go so far in describing the fantastic journey that we've taken this year, both as individuals but also as a group of 90. And 20 minutes doesn't do much justice to the wealth of experiences we've gathered. But the fact that something is difficult has never served as an excuse nor a reason this year for us not to try, and therefore I'll give it a shot. We've had a year full of tools, frameworks, 2x2 matrices, and acronyms, ranging from PDEs, our personal development elective, to our ICPs, international consulting projects. And so I'll just sneak one more acronym in to round up the year and draw it to a close. But I knew the chances were against me that I would fit in your memory banks if I introduced a brand new acronym. So I decided to piggyback on an existing one that we're all familiar with and holds special significance today. MBA. And don't worry, it doesn't stand for Mining Boss Alfonso. So this year, one thing that's definitely happened to us is that we have matured. We've developed more fully. We've had our foundations and our assumptions questioned and shaken. And as a result, we've come to know more about ourselves and of the world. We've matured as individuals with a fuller knowledge of ourselves. Not just what drives our emotions and our decisions, but also how able we are to trust and to be vulnerable with others. But also we found out just how much sleep we can take to stay awake the next day in class, how many cups of coffee gets us through lunch break to 5:30 end of class, and how long we can hold or contain before that first break in the morning where we rush to the restrooms. We've also learned much more about the world, a world that's dynamic, full of change, challenges, but yet opportunities. We've heard about and learned about macroeconomics, as well as global political economy. But we've also had the chance to learn in depth, from Japanese morning workouts, to German shouts of Achtung, from Russian mindsets to Venezuelan ham, from Dutch orange spandex suits to Lebanese belly dancing, from Brazilian caipirinhas to Korean or maybe Indonesian Gangnam Style. And of course, from horny elephants in South Africa from those elephants to elusive Angry Birds right here on IMD Campus. It wasn't easy to choose this word to be represented by the letter M. There were stiff competition, and other contenders include marathon, that many of us went through this year, Movenpick ice cream, that delightful dessert that catalyzed many a lunchtime conversation ranging from laughs to global politics, MGM, the place associated with football, fun, and morning headaches, and muchachos and muchachas, of which the class has many. Besides maturing, this year has also has been a year where we've become buddies. Most of us started as strangers. I recall one of the first persons I met was Naef Moyuddin. We were just across in the other building in the foyer where I met him, and here I was, a public servant from Singapore, a small island city-state, a mere 42 kilometers east to west. And there he was, a civil engineer living in a huge country called Australia, but who also called Pakistan, Kuwait, and UK home. But there was one thing, despite our differences, that drew us together. There was one thing that bonded us that cold December day. Free Wi-Fi. And maybe hot drinks. But a few days later, all 90 of us were unleashed on this small campus, and we quickly discovered the wide diversity of the 46 countries that are represented by this group here. We had conversations with rocket scientists to fighter jet pilots, from technical engineers to energy specialists, from industrial automation experts to coconut growers. We started really different, but we've come a long way. We've traveled together, and we've bonded and created something special. We've gone through highs and lows, seen each other at our best and our worst moments. We've had our drinks and our dings throughout this year. We've come to understand and accept our wide differences. How some of us are more expressive with our hands, while others are more somber and agreeable in class, nodding off in agreement. How some of us are obsessed with noodles, while others regard strawberries and shrimp as an excellent dessert. We've also come to understand how a passion for sports have gotten people together in a sports committee, while on the other hand, interests of another kind gather people into the rumor committee that almost led to one of our professors getting kicked out of his home for an imaginary Ferrari. We've bonded in a special way. We started as 90, and I'm proud to say we crossed the finish line together today as 90. We started as strangers, but we've closed this chapter as friends and curious, inspired learners. Like the letter M, B had also stiff competition. We had buy low, sell high. That finance class mantra that some say was well worth the 85,000 francs already. There was buzzword generator, that great tool that came in handy for assignments ranging from strategy to leadership. We had Buzz Club, recently conferred the title by one of us as the pilgrimage site for all IMD MBAs. And Bond, corporate, not James. 2012 has also been a year where we have achieved so much. Have no doubt, finishing and completing an IMD MBA is an achievement that we can be proud of. We've endured sleep-deprived nights in our integrative exercises, working on bicycles to telecom licenses. We've sacrificed energy, money, and time with our loved ones. We've leaned into our discomfort and used our safety nets. We've labored to bring real value to companies confronted with difficult problems. This year has been a year that has defined and changed us, and we will never be the same again. We'll never be the same again the next time we enter a seafood restaurant and someone puts a fish on the table. We'll never be the same again the next time we're in the meeting room and a colleague's cell phone rings and we immediately instinctively ask for champagne. We'll never be the same again when we see someone drink his second bottle of Coke Zero and we think in our head, I like your style. Other contenders for A included authority, that key pillar of many of our leadership journeys this year. A refrigerator, or more accurately, refrigerator, that one-word response that is both profound and absolutely hilarious. And amateur video slideshow, which is something that we'll see next as I close this first half of my presentation, and I thought it would be appropriate, having talked about the year and before I talk about the future, to spend some minutes to do a recap of the year that has gone by and the fun we've had. Can we show it, please? Thank you. It's not over yet. 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 Welcome to the second half. Now that video ended with real world, real leaders. Having graduated, we now today enter the real world as real leaders. It's one thing to look victoriously to the past. It's another to turn around, to gaze with purposeful intent to the future. As the often cited modern-day leadership guru, Spider-Man's uncle once said, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think we need to be mindful of at least three things as we look forward to the future. And it's another MB&A, just to tease your mind a little. First is we need to be leaders who make a difference. This year has seen many countries select and elect their leaders. Russia, France, Germany, US, China, to name a few. The world is in its search for leaders, good leaders. Leaders who create value and not destroy it. Leaders who dare to bring change and not wait passively for it to happen. Leaders who have the guts to make ethical decisions, not wrong ones. And in so doing, enable businesses to transform the world for better. As a popular American group once said, tonight or today, we are young. So let's set the world on fire. We burn brighter than the sun. Profound words that I think could one day make a dance hit. So let us shine with fire and with energy as best as we can to illuminate those around us. But to do that alone would not be sufficient. We also need to be humble, to recognize and to never think of ourselves greater than we really are. As we clearly figured out this year, we cannot do it alone. And when we come together and seek the help of others, the aggregate is always so much better than what we could have achieved ourselves. Every person we meet knows something we don't, and therefore every person we meet represents a chance to learn. Let us not be afraid to reach out, to connect with, to learn from, and to give to those whose circumstances differ from ours. Lastly, I think it's important to appreciate others and ourselves. Appreciation is so important, it can move people to tears, as we found out 2 days ago when some of us presented a gift to a member of the IMD facilities team for supporting our journey this year. Appreciation is like oxygen to our souls that gives and injects energy, hope, and life to us as well as to those who receive the appreciation. And it shows that we notice and that we care. One of my proudest moments as a member of this class took place just yesterday morning, where we took time as a class to thank and appreciate members of the IMD community who have enabled our learning journey this year. Appreciation is not diluted by repetition, and I think this is a fitting occasion to repeat some thanks. To MBA admissions, career services, and marketing, thank you for getting us in here, getting us out, and making sure the IMD flag flies high throughout. Thank you. To the IMD Program Office, thank you for seeing us through this redesigned new curriculum year. Thank you for putting up with our incessant requests and feedback and always responding with grace and joy. Thank you, MBA Program Office. Thank you, Martha and the faculty. To Martha for your patience, your wisdom, and your tireless availing of time. And to the faculty for taking us 90 on one heck of a learning ride. Thank you so much. Now, we've heard 6 words today from me, and it can all be distilled down to a simple acronym, MBA squared. You can tell the engineer in me. But I'd like to take a moment to talk about the exponent, the square over here. It is that which amplifies and magnifies the MBA to make us bigger than we truly are. And in so many ways, our families and our loved ones have been this amplifier for us. Several of us are here today to celebrate and witness this special moment with us, while others tune in via the internet. Thank you for supporting us every step of the way, for putting up with our silent moments, for listening to our journeys, and for being secure places for us to be ourselves. Thank you, families. Thank you, families. Thank you again, families and loved ones. Thank you, families and loved ones. I'd like to talk a little about the partners, those who have spent the year here, as well as those who have been supporting back home. Thank you for being there every step of the way for us, through thick and thin, through our best and our worst moments. As one of our MBA partners recently wrote in the yearbook, behind every successful MBA candidate, and I paraphrase, is an MBA partner who buys into the MBA journey. Thank you to the partners. Thank you, MBA partners. I also like to take this opportunity just to spend a few moments to thank three individuals, to Marcella, Rispo, Martha Magnus, and Hugo Paulino. For Marcella, for being a catalyst, I'm not sure if she's here today, for being a catalyst for fostering the MBA partner community. Thank you for taking care of our special loved ones and making them feel welcome and at home here in the community. To Martha and to Hugo, thank you for your enthusiasm, for your tireless energy in bringing the partners together, but more importantly, for taking time to listen and to reach out to partners to include them. Thank you, all three of you. Thank you again. As I wrap up, I'd like to take a few minutes, if I may, to share a story. The first moment when I came to a realization that this year was drawing to an end was 4 weeks ago at our fourth leadership experiential. Our Professor Ben had just taken us through 10 to 15 minutes of meditation in silence to reflect, to close things off, and we were sharing our thoughts and reflections of what we had seen through that reflection. And one of us, Syra, put up her hand and spoke. And I leaned forward to listen intently for two reasons. The first was she was speaking in a very tender and sincere tone. And the second was that unfortunately I fell asleep and I was trying to figure out what was going on. But I quickly caught up, thanks to Syra. I figured out that we were going to imagine that we were walking to a lake, relaxed, sitting by a bench, opening up a gift box, and to describe what we found inside. But the thing that struck me about what Syra said was that she realized that she was alone and that the other 89 were no longer with her. And since then, as I walked to my apartment and to campus the past 4 weeks, there have been moments of tears, but moments of bright smiles as well. At the risk of sounding cliched, I think that today doesn't represent an end. It merely reflects the close of a first chapter to a lifelong story that we'll share together. We have many things to look forward to, shared memories and anecdotes from all over the world as future global leaders. We have many reunions to look forward to as well. For many of us, I'm really interested to find out how your kids turn out. Whether your kid will sleep like the father or dance like the mom or spew out buzzwords like their parent. And it'll be really interesting to see some of us with gray hair or no hair, although some of us are already there today. So, IMD MBA class of 2012. As we have just finished an amazing year where we have matured, became buddies, and achieved so much we can be proud of, let us surge and soar forward, eager to make a difference, yet to be humble, and to always take time to appreciate others and ourselves, and to have fun while we're at it. Thank you so much.
Tony.
Oh. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you.
It goes in the office.
Thank you.